Hey everybody, Aaron Zamzow from FireRescueFitness.com. I have 3 stretches and 3 strengthening exercises that will help hopefully alleviate some of that knee pain that you've been experiencing and help strengthen your knees and your legs to help you minimize your chances of knee injury. As first responders, we're at a higher risk for knee injuries. Now, that's due to the fact that our job requires us to do a lot of squatting and a lot of kneeling. We also do a lot of step-ups into rigs, on stairs. We're doing dragging. We're doing different physical movements that make us a little more prone to knee injuries. Now, the job itself is not the only risk. Excessive weight or obesity or adding some extra pounds also adds extra stress to and around that knee joint. If you're lacking mobility and flexibility, that also can add stress and strain around that knee joint, which can add to trauma and inflammation and eventually can possibly lead to more severe injuries like ACL, MCL, and meniscus issues. Although it's not possible to prevent all instances of knee pain or all potential knee injuries, there are some things that we can do as first responders to help minimize how that pain, how long it lasts, and also our chances of suffering a severe knee injury. The first thing that we could do is manage our weight. The more weight you have, the more stress you have on your joints, including your knee. Every time you step, every time you do any motion on and off the fire ground, that adds stress and strain around that particular joint and can add to the trauma and the inflammation. The other thing that we need to do is make sure that we strengthen the muscles around the knees and make sure that they are mobile and flexible. This includes a consistent fitness program that will train functionality and will address strengthening the quads, the glutes, and the hamstrings, and then working the mobility and flexibility of those muscle groups around. Now, I do have some great exercises that will do those things. They'll help strengthen the knee, they'll help to stretch out those muscle groups around the knee. I really believe that if you incorporate them into your regular fitness program, they can really help make a huge difference in how your knees and your joints feel. Before I get to the actual strengthening exercises and stretches, I just wanted to point out that you shouldn't be doing any of this stuff cold, as we say. You want to make sure you do a little bit of a warm-up before you do any of the strengthening, especially before you do any of the stretches. What I like to do is just get a little brisk walk for a couple minutes, do some calf raises, maybe do some push-ups a little bit just to get the blood flowing. I personally like to incorporate the strengthening exercises in with my core section of my workouts, and then I'll add these stretches in at the end of the workout just to make sure that I hit all those muscle groups. The key is consistency. Try to do these exercises 3 times, if not more, per week and stay consistent with it. That's the best way to get the most out of them, and you'll really start to feel better, especially your knees, and they'll thank you for it. The first exercise I recommend you doing is called the Glute Bridge. This is an exercise where you get on the floor, you're gonna push your hips up through your heels, and you're gonna really work, this exercise focuses on working the low back and the muscles of the glutes. Now, glutes help to stabilize the hips, which actually then transfers down to the knees, and it can alleviate a lot of the pressure and the torque that you get on knees. With the bridges, what you'll wanna do is push the hips up, hold for 5 seconds, then slowly lower your hips back down. You wanna do these for reps of 10 to 15 and try to do 2 to 3 sets. The next exercise is called the wall sit. You might remember doing these exercises in gym class, or if you were in some sports organizations, this is one of the ones that you love to hate. But for good reason. It's a great isometric exercise. It really helps to strengthen the quads, and it's a low impact. So if you are having some knee issues, it's one that doesn't necessarily put a lot of stress and strain on the knee itself. It's fairly easy. What you do is find a wall where you can sit up against it, lower your hips down to a point where you can feel the quads working, but it's not a lot of stress and strain on the knees, and you'll hold that position for anywhere between 20 and 30 seconds. At the end of the time, you'll stand up, shake your legs out, and then repeat it 2 or 3 times. Each time you do this exercise, you want to try to increase the time, and eventually you'll feel that difference in the strength of your legs, especially around your quads. The last exercise I want you to incorporate into your workout programs consistently It's called the quadruped fire hydrant. Now, I love the name and the title. I'm sure you will too. But this is an exercise that has a lot of value because it improves the strength and the mobility of your hips, hamstrings, glutes, all those muscle groups that we need to be strong in order to support the knee. For this exercise, you want to get down on all fours. Make sure that you maintain good core posture. And what I mean by that is you're going to make sure that you draw your stomach muscles in because you don't want to put any added stress on your low back. What you're going to do is bend your knee, try to lift it up to the side of your leg, just like dogs do on a fire hydrant. Lift it up as high as you can, hold it for a couple seconds, and then come back down to the starting position. You'll do anywhere between 10 and 15 reps on one side, and then obviously you're going to do them on the other, and you're going to do 2 to 3 sets of this exercise. You'll really feel it through the hips and maybe a little bit through the low back. But be assured, this is a great exercise for the knees and for the core. All right, now that I've given you some exercises to help you strengthen those muscle groups surrounding the knee, I wanted to give you some stretches that'll help alleviate any tightness and will help improve your flexibility and mobility. The first stretch is the standing hamstring stretch. Now, one thing to remember with any stretch is that you want to make sure that you don't hold your breath, take nice easy breaths, and that you don't overstretch. If you're feeling sharp pain, back off a little bit. There's no reason to hurt yourself when you're doing preventative work like stretching. So this stretch is very simple. You step forward with one leg. What you want to do then is bend forward at the waist and reach towards that leg. Make sure that you maintain good posture, head and shoulders back. Continually breathe. Again, don't hold your breath. And you want to hold this stretch for 20 or 30 seconds. You want to come back up to the starting position and then switch legs. Try to do this for 2 or 3 sets or 2 or 3 times on each leg. The next exercise is a standing calf stretch. Now, this will stretch out the muscles of the back of the lower leg and the calf and the gastroc. And this is great because you might be getting a lot of tension in your ankles due to some weaknesses in your knees or tightness in the muscle groups around the knees. This is a great exercise to do. You can actually do this against the engine or the ladder, anywhere in the firehouse. You just put your arms up against a wall and then walk one of your legs back a little bit and try to press your heel towards the floor. You should feel it in the back of the leg. And one of the things to remember though is mind what your head and your shoulders are doing. Make sure that you have good posture. You want to hold the stretching position, again, 20 to 30 seconds. Repeat on the other side. Perform this 2 or 3 times for each leg. And the final stretch is a standing quad stretch. This one takes a little bit of balance. You can use some object like a chair or the engine or the ladder to help stabilize you. But for this one, you want to stand up straight and try to bring up one of your heels. Grab the foot itself and stretch out through the quads. And what you may not be able to grab your heel, you might have to grab a pant leg, but eventually as you increase and improve your mobility, you'll be able to grab the whole foot. The things to remember on this one is as you grab your foot, you want to feel this through the front part of the hip and the quad. You want to stand up straight. Make sure your head and your chest are back. That will actually help to stretch out the hips a little bit and give you a little bit better stretch in the quad. Here, 20 to 30 seconds, hold with each leg, and then repeat on the other side 2 to 3 times with each leg. And those are the 3 great stretches. When you combine the stretches with the strengthening exercises, I think you really start to feel your knees respond. The key is consistency. Make sure that you consistently do this at least 3, if not 4 times per week. Again, personally, I like to incorporate them into my workout program so I know I'm getting them in. Lastly, if you experience knee pain for more than a few weeks, and if you took time off and you did some of these stretches and it's still not right, make sure that you go see your doctor or an orthopedic specialist. That might indicate that there are some other underlying issues that you really need to address. The key again, consistency. Maintain your fitness level, maintain a good healthy weight, and make sure that you are fit for duty. I'm Aaron Zamzow. Thanks for tuning in. Please let me know if you have any questions or if I can help you and your crew.